Hello, this is another retro gaming first, well actually in this case it is a first impressions because I've never played this one before. This is PitStop for the Commodore 64 plug and play TV thing. I had the sequel to this, PitStop 2. It was one of the first games that I got. When I got my Commodore 64, I got an absolute mountain of games with it, and PitStop 2 was one of them, and I really enjoyed it. And I always wanted to play PitStop to see what it was like. But this is the first time that I've actually ever got to play it on this plug and play TV thing. Initial impressions are it looks very, very different from PitStop 2. I mean, PitStop 2 is light years ahead of this. Looking at this, you are racing against other cars, but there's no position, there's no track position to go for. It just seems that the objective is to complete the race. Obviously with a name like PitStop, the key element of the game is having to pit in, and this is to refuel your car and change your tyres. As the race will go on, as you'll see, the tyres will start to change colour, and this is to indicate their condition slowly deteriorating. So for an early Commodore 64 game, it's not too bad. There's a bit of tyre management and a bit of fuel management. The sad thing is you can see there the tyres have started to wear. The more you hit other cars and bounce off the side of the road, obviously the faster your tyres will start to wear. But as I was going to say, the real sort of sad thing about this is its inclusion on the Commodore plug and play TV thing is that putting PitStop 2 on there just generally makes this effectively redundant, because PitStop 2 just looks far better, sounds far better, and just generally does everything better. And therefore this just doesn't feel as good a game. It just seems a bit pointless. I mean, if the objective is simply to get to the end of the game, you're not doing it against the clock, and you're certainly not doing it against the other cars. I mean, it's pretty hard to fail in this game. Now granted, I'm only playing this for this video, a single track mode, and maybe if I did the World Championship mode, there would be scoring and you would have to, you might have a rival or somebody like that to play against. Maybe I should have played that, but it does seem a little bit pointless. If you've got, it's almost like playing a game with infinite lives or being invulnerable. And this is sort of the best bit of the game, is when you come into the pits, and what you have to do here is, if you see the little crosshair, you have to click on a bloke, and then he then grabs the wheel and you have to take it down to the wheel. And you'll notice that, my pit stop technique is faster than that of Red Bull Racing. This seems obvious. I mean, obviously with a name like PitStop, this is the key element to the game. And what I'm not doing here is what I should be doing is actually refueling the car at the same time as changing the tyres. But to be honest, as I say, this is the first time I've played the game. Although there's a similar system in PitStop 2. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing when I first went into this screen. Look at that 30-second pit stop. Fantastic. I don't think Red Bull Racing will be taking my application to become a member of their pit stop team anytime in the near future. Now, if this is like PitStop 2, you have to be careful when it comes to refueling, because you can actually overfill the car, and the net result is you have to start all over again. But as you can see, I mean, I had a nice leisurely stop in the pits there, and it's made absolutely sod all difference. I've not lost any track position because there's none marked on the screen, and I've not lost any time because I'm not racing against the clock. So effectively this is a 3-lap race, and all I'm doing is racing till the end of the lap. The map tells me this is Monaco, but the racetrack itself is nothing like it. I mean, I'm not going to judge the game on that. You know, the game's probably coming up for nearly 30 years old. I'm not expecting wonderful representations of Monaco or anything like that, but it would be nice if there was just something that, other than the map, that gave you an indication that you're blasting around the streets of Monaco. You know, the odd little building rather than just a billboard and a tree. But yeah, I mean, it's an ancient game, isn't it? I mean, it would be a bit... Oh, there we go. So, there's the purse, $53,000 was that. Not bad for an afternoon's work. I suppose if you increase the difficulties as well, things would change. But... absolutely no difference whatsoever in the colour scheme of the circuit between this and Monaco. I say it's an old game. What can you expect? I can expect a different colour other than green. That horrible green that is just ever present at the side of the tracks. Could they not have introduced another colour? The Commodore 64 had a considerable colour palette for its day. I'm pretty certain they could have selected a different colour for each circuit, just to have at least give you the better feeling that you're racing on a different circuit. But the cars look pretty good for the day. They do actually look like racing cars and not squares with smaller squares stuck on them. There is a bit of definition there. One of the things I've noticed as well with this game, and I can't remember if it was while I was playing on this particular track, is you don't, on some of them anyway, you don't actually have to pit in. Now, that's a bit of a gameplay flaw, because if you can get away with not pitting in, then that takes away the key element of the game. And again, it's probably got something to do with the difficulty level I'm playing on. In all honesty, I mean, I don't really care about the difficulty setting. I mean, it's enjoyable to play. I mean, the controls work well with a plug and play device. I've got no real complaints there. And I suppose it's entertaining enough. It's just nothing special, for want of a better phrase. The second game was, and the second game come out probably about 2 or 3 years. Maybe even not that much. I can't remember. It wasn't that long, I don't think, anyway, after this one it came out. And it was a far, far better game. Far better representation. And you were actually racing against an opponent in that one. So what I'll do is I'll do that as my next video so you can see the contrast between the two. It's okay. It's okay. I find it difficult to stay and play this when when the sequel's far better and it's on the same compilation as well. It kind of, as I say, makes this a bit redundant. Yeah, it was that one I went through without any pit stops. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video.